Hello, students. We are at World Habitat Series. We have done polar regions, cool forest, rainforest, grasslands, deserts, mountains, and caves. So far, today we will do freshwater habitats. The world is full of freshwater lakes, rivers, and streams, all fed by rainwater. These habitats attract all sorts of insects, animals, and plants. So let's start it. Freshwater habitats. Freshwater habitats come in all forms. Some rivers, like the mighty South American Amazon, are incredibly wide. Other habitats grow in and around tiny streams. It takes all sorts, from mammals and reptiles to mollusks and crustaceans. Most groups of animals have freshwater representatives. The most interesting habitat among all is freshwater, an animal's home. Fresh water is needed by all land based life. Many animals, like the water shrew, make their home by water. Plants, too. There is a huge range of aquatic freshwater plants, from duckweed to giant water lilies. You can see long green bulrushes. Some birds build their nest among rushes at the water's edge. Beautiful. Next in freshwater habitat is the flowing current. From foamy, wild, cascading torrents to slow but ever moving waters, rivers provide a rich habitat for a wide variety of wildlife. From here, the food chain begins. As leaves and dead animals fall into the waters, bacteria multiply. This brings food for aquatic larvae such as caddisfly. From small beginnings, many rivers start life as fast flowing streams. It is often a barren beginning, but plants and animals soon thrive, changing the landscape. Over millions of years, rivers cut channels in the earth. A notable example of this is the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon. See, a brown bear is eating fish. Against the flow, swift flowing water captures oxygen, helping fish to breathe. Chinook salmon swim against the current heading for their spawning grounds. It's a dangerous journey. Many birds make a slow moving river their hunting ground, snatching small fish from the water. The kingfisher is a colorful inhabitant of many European rivers. Stop that water. Beavers sometimes build dams to create lakes, slowing the flow of water and so changing their habitat. They also create lodges to live in. Very smart. From flowing currents, we move on to still waters in freshwater habitats. A freshwater lake is a large body of standing water. Lakes support a wide variety of life, especially at their edge. Just floating around. Plants that float do not do well in still water, but they can take over. Water hyacinth looks pretty, but it is fast growing weed and can choke other life under a thick mat. Yes, it's a very thick plant. Cat in the water. Catfish are named for their barbels, cat like whiskers that allows them to feed their way in murky water. Bullhead catfish. Is it a sucker? Paddle in a muddy lake and you may much find a leech on your foot. Some but not all leeches suck blood. Medicinal leech, horse leech. There are two types you can see. Is it a lake? Lakes form in hollows, but not all are natural. A reservoir is a man made lake formed by a dam. This is a dam made by man. Okay. Ospreys are large birds of prey, reaching 1.7 meter winging up, winging tip to winging tip. Oh, attacks from above. Ospreys are found on all continents except Antarctica. They will nest near a lake or river and swoop down to pluck fish from the water. Life on the edge. Bulrushes and reeds often form a thick bed at a lake's edge known as emergence. They grow up from the lake floor and out into the air. These are called emergents, and many small birds make nest in bulrushes. The ambush specialist, pike. Pike are adept at ambushing their prey, lying in wait and nabbing passing frogs, fish, and insects. Don't mess with me. The fearsome looking alligator, snapping turtle, is the world's largest freshwater turtle. Some have weighed in at more than 100 kgs. Wow, look at this. A slice of history. The common loon's ancestors lived on Earth some 65 million years ago. This red eyed bird can dive to an incredible 27-meter in search of food. That's very exciting. The most interesting part of freshwater habitat is pond life. A healthy pond is a magnet for life, both above and below the surface. It is full of fish, insects, and amphibians. Walking on water. Can you walk on water? Pond skaters are able to stride across the water's surface. Velvety hair on their legs stop them sinking. They hunt insects. Larva here and larva there. The pond is busy with larvae, the young stage of an insect. A larva looks very different from its adult form. Not one to eat. A stickleback is named because sharp spines on its back make it an unpleasant mouthful for a larger fish. I spy a dragon. Dragonflies begin their lives in water, spending several years as nymphs and molting as they grow. A nymph as nymphs and then as adults. They are fierce hunters. In hiding, newts are shy and can be hard to spot. They creep about as if walking on tiptoe. Adult newts spend most of their life in damp places on land. Row, row, row your boat. With back legs that resemble oars, the water boatman looks as if it is rowing underwater, though it hangs upside down to do so. Wow, water boatman look. Amazing. Pond life is so amazing. Another interesting part of freshwater habitats are bogs and marshes. Meat eating plants. Carnivorous plants survive well in bogs and marshes where the ground contains few nutrients. Venus flytrap. This is a bog. Bogs form in cool, wet places where the ground becomes spongy because it is full of rainwater. It is a wet. Actually, a bog or marsh is a wetland, a place where the ground is soaked or covered in water. It is a great place for wildlife. This is a marshes. This is a bog, and this is a marsh. Marshes get their water from rivers but have spread over a wide area. Africa's Okavango Delta is a marsh. It is a natural sponge. This is how the life on bogs and marshes look like. Wildlife paradise. A marsh is a haven for birds, reptiles, and mammals. There are more than 400 species of birds and over 150 species of reptiles in the marshlands of Okavango Delta. That is so rich in species. Last but not the least, in freshwater habitats are the Everglades. The wetlands of Florida, USA are known as the Everglades. Parts of the area form a great big swamp that is very wet and always hot and streamy. Summer rains. Summer is the rainy season in the Everglades. Plentiful rainfall makes the river swell, creating even more islands in this swampy wilderness. Now you can see birds, manatees, Everglade giant, this American gladiator, alligator. The main hunter of the area in the American is American gladiator. The main hunter of this area is the American alligator. They are huge, stretching to 4.5-meter long and are the largest reptile in North America. Mangrove swamps. The mangrove is an unusual tree because it can live in shallow salt water. Many of these trees thrive along the coast where the Everglades meet the sea. Is it grass or is it water? Inland in the Everglades, the sawgrass plains can be found. In some areas, the water is barely visible because the sawgrass is so thick, the water is very shallow. So, that was all about freshwater habitats. Thank you so much for watching. Wait for the ocean habitat in the next video. Thank you so much.